And I was telling also everyone here, they are very welcome to leave their questions here in the call. So if you click the right hand upper corner, there's a text bubble. You click it, show text, you can write, like, ask questions right away there. Otherwise, you can also leave your questions in the test channel Cryptoverse. Yeah, got it. And we will spend like half hour to just let Adam, the developer's lead, to show us, like, do a little bit live demo how it works, but also let Robbie, the co-founder of the Cryptoverse projects, Metaverse projects, basically where are they at this moment and what is coming, what is cooking, all the exciting like announcement they have recently. So thank you everyone joining us today. Feel free to ask your questions. Best asked question wins a single puzzle NFT. All right. Enough introduction. I'm your host today, Ami from Polkastarter. We work with Cryptoverse like since actually before the land sale, lots of like get to know each other, and also because we have lots of project collaboration before. The land sales was a success. It was great seeing you again here today, Robbie. How's things going? Yeah, tell me a little bit about your project at this moment. Why people are here today?
Yeah, thanks, Wara. So thank you everyone for joining and listening in. I'm excited to kind of be here and give an update, and also really excited for
now recording.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That spun me out for a second. I thought I was in like the Black Mirror or something. Anyway, really excited to be here. Thank you once again for inviting me. It's always an absolute pleasure to come and speak with the Polkastarter community. Always absolutely love it. It's always some amazing questions come through. So I'd like to kind of hopefully make the session as interactive as possible and invite people to speak, ask questions, because ultimately, I'm sure people have a load of questions, and I could speak kind of forever for hours about Cryptoverse, and it'd probably just be a little bit aimless. So I'd just like to kind of preface that with this kind of comment. By the way of update, as people will have seen through our social media channels, we've made, I think, exceptional progress on the infrastructure side of things, mainly the land picker tool and the marketplace, which we magically managed to align the release of the timelines for, which is just kind of a testament to our amazing front end and back end developers. To be honest with you, I'm really proud of them. They've achieved this in amazing time scale and to a really high standard. In my humble opinion, I think it's the best land picker tool that there is amongst any other decentralized metaverse, kind of protocols or platforms. Not that, trying to speak kind of down about any others. I think it's just because ours needed to be. The world itself is far more, I would say, dynamic in terms of its ability to kind of change somewhat. For example, we talk a lot about the kind of sharding and compiling opportunities that lay before, as well as the fact that basically every parcel is unique in shape and size. So we aren't working with just a kind of grid format, i.e., perfect squares or rectangles. So we had the team had challenges that wouldn't have been faced before, probably anywhere, to our knowledge, and also the team needed to kind of pivot away from what was the initial plan for the development of this tool. Probably about 25% way into the time, so they really have kind of worked every hour God has sent, really, for the last couple of months. So very proud of them for that. Simultaneously, we recognised fairly early on that, marketplace solutions that currently exist would not be as flexible as required for users to make informed decisions on land purchases. This is just as a result of the dynamism of the map and the kind of restraints with regards to showcasing, I would say, the NFTs and the land assets. So this is why the marketplace, which is owned by Cryptoverse, if you like, or the foundation, is the important thing here, and really excited by that as a tool and its flexibility as well. So yeah, those are the main areas that we've made the largest areas of progress. But underneath the hood, just as in way of a summary, there's been a lot of work that's been going on in the back end, predominantly on I would say workflow, pipeline, and process. It may sound a little bit boring. It kind of is a little bit, but setting up, ensuring all of the accurate kind of project management tools are in place, that everybody's using the same versions of software for creation purposes, and have got the licenses that they need for all of the different kind of software tools that would be required, that we're all in line from a programming to a content creation perspective in terms of what are priority features, categorizing all that. Which is a lot of work. It's probably the boring side of things, but it is a lot of work. But that's not stopped the development as well. So simultaneously, there's been work ongoing, certainly with regards to content creation. So the design for the central business district area of the hub is predominantly finished now. Design work continues, and actually the creation, i.e., the modeling of the actual central business district area is actually already kind of commenced. We've got some of it in Unreal Engine, and the kind of, I would say, the results are extremely exciting. They're not just models that have been taken from other modeling platforms like TurboSquid. They're completely uniquely designed by an urban city planning team and have been remodeled or in the process of being remodeled by the content creation team here. So we're very excited by the progress that's been going on there, as well as some avatar work, mainly proof of concept at this stage. We anticipate that there'll be need for an avatar tool so that users can come in and utilize the avatar tool for their initial creation of their avatars before obviously that becomes more and more kind of decentralized as time goes on. These are the main areas I would say that have been worked on over the kind of last three months or so. The other kind of thing to mention is there's been a fair amount of research that's gone into the appropriate infrastructure and infrastructure tooling in terms of from a server perspective. So server architecture is key for the performance of what users see on the front end, i.e., the world that they can see, the quality of it, the visuals, and so on. So there's been a large body of work going into assessing existing kind of service opportunities and whether or not there's going to need to be an entirely bespoke architecture created from the team from the bottom up. So this is also an important piece of work that's been ongoing. Awesome. I think that's probably all I would say in terms of a quick level summary.
A quick level, but also actually it's pretty good birth feel to see for actually it's good that you provide a perspective actually front end we see this today, but all the back end, all the research, all the thing you connect together, and that's why today we have this presentation / actually just some review of what you're going to experience on Monday. So personally, as also a landowner, not a big piece of estates, but I am super grateful for this. You guys are truly building. So for those need some visual inspiration, Dan has been very helpful, sharing some I think what are they actually very interesting? Are they mock-up only or some visual if you understand what I'm talking about, Robin, I'm very curious what these 4 images are. Can you tell us a little bit?
You mean for the central business district area?
Yeah.
Is that what you're referring to?
Is that already here? Is that already built? No.
So we have got we've split the central business district area into kind of roughly into quadrants, and one of the quadrants has been actually put into engine at this stage. The other 3 quadrants have been designed and are in the kind of the process of being modeled. So it's not completed in its entirety yet, but some big pieces of work are. So I'm just going to try and find where I might have saved those images, but yeah, I'm more than happy to share them too.
Yeah, share them in the chat. Also you can request share your screen if that's easier. I also received a video from Dan before. Basically it's like the minting process. I'm also happy to drop the link here later if that's okay. Dan, just give me a thumbs up in the chat. Yes, there's video demo. Hey, hold on guys, patience is the key. So if there's some questions want to ask already to Rob before we pass the mic to Adam. Awesome, then I will just share the link here. Any question for Robbie? Anything you want to go specific from what Rob just shared with us the last 3 months, what Cryptoverse team is building and working on? Anytime though, okay? All right, I will pass the mic to Adam then. I think people would like to see just exactly from 0 to the end. If I bought the land from Polkastarter or other source, how will I pick my land using your tool? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Hi guys, nice to see everyone. I'm Adam. I'm pretty much the lead developer here at the Cryptoverse and also the Chain Guardians ecosystem. So over the past couple of months, I've been the one that's been trying to build this land selector tool for us. As Robbie kind of mentioned, there were a few kind of routes that we were going to go down. I think for us, the goal of the selector tool was to make it as integrated and as seamless as possible for users. So so we've tried to do that, and I think we've kind of got to a point where it's really, really good, and it's going to be a really nice integrated experience for people when they come to mint their land on Monday. So yeah, I'll show the full process from start to finish, and if there's any questions throughout, just feel free to ping me, and we can get some questions answered as well. So let me just refresh my screen. I'm hoping everyone can see okay.
Yes, please.
Cool.
For who for those who are new to live stream, to see Adam's screen, just go to his window and then click the watch stream button. Any difficulties, just shouts here in the chat. I don't see the watch stream button yet though. Adam, let us know once you put it on.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I was showing.
Okay, so Adam is.
Here we go. Let me know if you can see my screen now.
Yeah.
Cool. So
hold on, Ads. I don't think I can't see it, so I don't know if other people can't as well. But...
Really, I can. So if you search name Adam Hawk and then watch screen.
Yeah, I see it. It's actually next to your name on a separate box, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
I can.
All right. So Adam, we are ready.
Awesome. So I think a few weeks ago we sent everybody their global claim tokens, which basically it acts as almost like a golden ticket into the land selector tool. So if you log on to the Cryptoverse website and go to your account section, you'll be able to see how many claim tokens you've actually got in your account. So on Monday, there'll be a few new tabs appearing on the account section and also in the main menu. There'll be one called Land Selector, which you can find in the main menu and also in the account. So all you have to do is click that, and then you get a little pop-up saying to enter the experience. And I know Robbie's kind of briefly touched on the complexity of this tool, but I just kind of want to maybe just kind of talk a little bit about some of the challenges and also kind of how we've overcome that. So we've essentially got, I think, around 500,000 parcels for people to choose from. So the difficulty that we've had there is obviously the ability to show all those on screen at one time. So we've done a lot of really cool things behind the scenes in order to load the map as quickly as possible. So without getting too technical and boring, what we tend to do is we load the estates in first. So the epic down to small, all those are loaded as soon as you click start experience, and then the single parcels are loaded in once you select on the piece of land that you want to potentially mint. So you can pan around the map. You'll be able to look at all the different zones. You'll see on the right hand side, we've got some tabs as well. So if you have got a computer that's not super performant, you can hide certain zones and lock in only certain ones that you actually, which is really cool.
Sorry, Adam, we lost you in the last sentence a little bit. So you were saying if we don't have a super performing PC, we can hide the zone. So
yeah, that's right. So if your computer is not great and you don't have a great graphics card, you can actually hide certain zones and help with that experience. You can also show and hide certain parcels as well.
Right.
So for instance, if you've only got singles, you can hide everything but singles. So you can kind of directly see what parcels are available at anyone. So the colors are pretty much represented. The epics are yellow, the giants are the kind of this kind of faded gray color. The large are in the brown, the mediums are in the blue, and the smalls are in the pink, and then the singles are in the green. And everything that's red will be classed as unavailable or already minted. This is just a test net, so don't worry, like all this land hasn't been minted yet. But yeah, so basically what you do is you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can search by token ID. So if you've got a friend who's got a certain piece of land and you want to have land next to him, you can enter the token ID and go directly to that land. You can pan around the map and zoom in. And then when you've decided on an area that you like, you can click into it. And then on the left-hand side, you can see the NFT image, which will be associated to your land once you've minted it. You can select multiple items at any one time. So if you've got maybe a few mediums, a few smalls, you can mint those all together in a batch mint, which is pretty cool. You can remove them at any time as well if you change your mind. We've also got this legend at the bottom. So if you kind of want to see which might be quite, some key points of interest, you can click into that and it'll open up an image for you. You can view it in full screen and you can see kind of where some of the points of interest are, like where the little Vegas, the volcanoes, the entertainment zones, the ski resort, that kind of thing. So it'll help you kind of make informed decisions going forward. Like if I show you some examples as well down here. So if you choose a land near the beach area, it will indicate that there's a point of interest nearby. These are only pretty general at the moment. We're definitely going to be adding more points of interest as we go and develop the metaverse. So it's kind of not really, I wouldn't kind of use that as like as a full basis to choose your land, but it's kind of a good indicator if that kind of stuff's important to you. So
Adam, sorry, trying to pull up the questions from the chats. We have one here regarding minting, the process of minting. What is the difference between minting a single parcel land, and minting an estate, which is bigger, right? Are there any difference?
Yeah, so basically if you want, let's try, I can show you the minting process for the singles. So if you click into a single that you like, you'll notice it'll load in the single data for that piece of land. It takes about 5 seconds for the singles to load in. Then once they've loaded, you can freely kind of click on any of the other singles within that zone, and there won't be any more kind of loading time on top of that. As you can see here, we've had a bit of fun kind of playing around, minting some funny images there. But yeah, so then it's the same process. You click on the piece or the singles that you want. You can choose them in a group, or you can choose them wherever you want. You can choose them across. So you're kind of not restricted there. It's just down to how many singles you actually own. So I think you can mint actually up to 50 at a time, which is really cool. Obviously, you can kind of do a separate transaction if you want to mint more, if you've got more pieces. But so once you've selected them, it's really easy. You just press mint land. There's a couple of transactions that you have to do. So for the singles, it's actually on Polygon network. So what it will do is it'll auto switch you if you're on mainnet, for instance. So it's quite a seamless transaction. So you just confirm the transaction. You get a modal which tells you that it's currently minting, and then once the minting process is complete, you'll get a confirmation, and you'll be able to view that land directly in your account page, which is really cool. So then once that's completed, you can view your land, or you can close, and you can look at some more areas. So, you know, you might want to mint those and then mint a few more.
Adam, I have two follow-up question here. Like, if I have a single and an estate, so different type of land, do I need to do 2 transactions or all in one?
That's right, yeah. So because they're on different networks, because the singles are on Polygon and the estates are on mainnet, Ethereum, you've got to do separate transactions in order to mint those. So what we do is we allow people to let me just close this and show you. We allow people to select that of the same type. So for instance, if I've got a few large, I can mint any larges, but I can't mint a small in that same transaction. So you have to, if you're going to mint, you have to mint that of the same type of land, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. If more follow-up questions on this, like, do let us know. There are more questions. Is it okay we do this? Like, I just ask like suitable questions.
Absolutely, yeah, no problem.
So like, there's a question like, something like very like basic like how many songs in Cryptoverse, like in each song, what are the features of that. You can definitely go to Cryptoverse, like their websites, the business, song, entertainment, they're basically like they all have different feature. But then today we will try to focus on the minting and maybe like the future development of it. One question from a user, pretty interesting. Wow. Well, this is a very in-depth question, like and development-wise, like for, I think, especially for developers. I will just try to ask. Building a platform will surely require a lot of minds to work with the coding and all. What are your plans to combat this issue, like the recent hack on rolling and secure the platform's security? So basically, what are you doing like regarding security?
Well, in terms of like,
I'll let you answer this, but I just want to say, obviously, Ronin is a chain, right? And the reason they got hacked is because it was a 51% attack. I think they only had like 5 nodes and they were all centrally owned. So the issue there was probably the fact that they didn't have a host of decentralized nodes. And that's why somebody was able to actually gain control of over 50% of the network, and that's where that attack came from. Our security considerations are completely different because we're not building a blockchain. So I'll let Adam add to the security side of things.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. I mean, we work with a lot of really great smart contract developers and really great third parties who help audit what we do. So, you know, we try and take every step to ensure that security is there and that people aren't going to be be hacked or lose any of their NFTs or anything to that degree.
Ads, can you talk a little bit about what you've done in terms of the approval of spending tokens as well? Because for those of you that are kind of up to date, there's been some malicious payloads that have been essentially embedded into signature codes. There was a fairly famous one with OpenSea not so long back. In fact, people were saying that it was like one of the Wyvern contracts that had malicious payload attack, and it wasn't. It seemed to be that actually somebody had clicked some kind of phishing links from somewhere, or they'd basically approved some sort of signature request on a nefarious site. Now, the key thing here is that as a result of a lot of these contracts, what they actually do is when you sign those signatures, you are effectively allowing the contract to spend infinite amounts of that token of that type when you approve that via signature. So whilst the only kind of other, I would say, a caveat would be to basically be confirming a transaction every time if you didn't want to sign a signature, and that obviously means more kind of costs on the user side, which is also not desirable. It's kind of a little bit like 50-50 in terms of the positives and negatives of each side. So we've Adam and the development team have actually come up with a really I would say bespoke way to try and get the best of both worlds. So Ads, would you just talk a little bit about what you've done there?
Yeah, so in terms of, I think that's probably mostly directed about the marketplace, but
yeah, exactly.
Basically, with the marketplace and the approval process, whenever you submit an approval to spend your tokens, let's say CGG, for example, you have to put the limit and the allowance of how much you're willing to spend. A lot of people will tend to just let you spend an unlimited amount of token on their platform, and that really opens up a lot of vulnerabilities there. So I mean, especially us in our marketplace, we tried to kind of put security at the forefront of things and only allow people to spend in regards to whatever the cost of the NFT is listed for. So for instance, like if you were to buy an NFT for $500, say, we would only allow you to spend that $500 in that transaction. So the approval then is only for that $500. I think that it just kind of safeguards the user, and it means that, you don't let these contracts kind of unlimitedly spend your funds, basically.
Yeah. So, exactly. And these are things that we don't necessarily, talk about in depth, or necessarily, put in front-facing correspondence, not because there's anything to hide there, but just purely because it might confuse a lot of users and it's not that important. But these are the types of the security considerations that we're constantly thinking about to protect users as far as possible, really.
Yeah, totally understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Understand the user's concern, and I think it's really good that you address the whole your thinking process and how Cryptoverse first team actually working behind the scene with all that, and really appreciate the answer. I see many questions asking I'm trying to pull up more questions if people have regarding the minting process, but you also have a really great summary tutorial blog, so I just share the link. But further on, there are many more questions about Cryptoverse, how to build exactly after I mint the land. Can I start building already? Do you have the builder tool? And also you have the marketplace, right? This are also the topic I would like to hear you talk about. But if you have something you also want to remind users about your minting tool, please shoot.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably one thing that I really want to kind of to talk about, and that and this has been brought up quite a lot from users. I think in the past, when users have kind of gone on for a first come first served basis, the worry is that you might choose a piece of land that you really like, but you might get beaten to the punch by it, and that means then that you might miss out on that piece of land. So what we've tried to do is make this process really as seamless as possible. So, I mean, without getting too technical, if you were to mint a piece of land, like say this piece here, as soon as we catch that as pending on the smart contract, we block that out as being sold, and then we will keep that in a sold state for an extra minute until the transaction is pended. So you can see there it's already turned red. So it's not even confirmed yet, but it turns red, and that means that if anyone tries to mint that land whilst you're in that pending state, they won't be able to. So it kind of gives you that kind of flexibility to make sure that you can mint your land and you know that it's not going to get swiped from you. And again, you know, the reason we do that on like the pending state and the complete state and not when you just clicked it is that we don't want users to be able to kind of hold up land. So you're not able to get the land that you want. So we hold it for at least a minute once the transaction's pending. Once it completes, we confirm it. If it doesn't complete, we make it available again. So a lot's gone behind the scenes in order to make that part of the process seamless. And it sounds a little bit mundane and boring, but it does matter to a lot of people.
Yeah. How the first come first serve, like always, like is this a good question? Exactly how is it executed, like with a smart contract and a Web3 situation, and super impressive. You also tell us a little bit like behind the scene how it works. Yeah, should we talk about building to, I mean, understand we are so impatient already want to know when to build, but because many actually builders like who bought your land, there are so many like building tool. This is a very like innovative one you were mentioned to us before. It's called terraforming tool. How is it now currently? Like what is the progress on that building tool?
Yeah, so I guess there's two types of building scenarios, high level anyway, that we are trying to address. You know, the first one is to essentially like give users the ability to you know, place assets within their land area. That could be, you know, buildings. It could be you know, sofas, TVs, you know, anything that you might expect within a typical building environment. So before you can even essentially you know, complete that tool, you need like a list of assets that are going to be, you know, likely needed. So the assets are kind of going through a list, like a process of ideation, concepting, drawing, then modeling, then texturing, and then, you know, like even just to a posing point of view for the NFTs. And then, you know, then you can think about logic as well. So the logic would be like, if it's a door and I place a door, you know, can I open that door? How far does the door open? And all of these kind of world building questions. So it's a long process, and the building tool will go through different iterations in terms of the ones that users can use just as a kind of like drag and drop kind of opportunity. Before we can actually begin work on that tool, there is an important infrastructure tooling that we need to complete, and that we're in the process of starting development for Relay. There's two in particular that we think before we can think about the builder tool, these need to be done, and these are unique to Cryptoverse in terms of challenges. So the first one is that because every land estate and or single parcel is entirely kind of unique in size and shape, you need to be able to give users two particular parameters in by and large, which are really important to ensure that the world will run on the relevant server architecture which has been created. One is the amount of polygons, for example, and two is the height that a user would be able to build. And these are in tandem with, in correlation to the size of the land that a user would have. So the first tool that we're actually looking to create is an automated tool which would intuitively tell users, how high they can build and how many polygons they can use in that land space that they have. So the process for the development of that tool is essentially just underway. We can't essentially finish that until the architecture has been completely settled on. We can only get some good ideas. The tool can be built and finished, but until the architecture is in place, the actual data that would be providing would not be accurate. So we're still early, but the correct steps are being taken. So that's the first one in terms of the kind of builder tool that's user friendly. The second is like I would say more along the lines of like a software development kit. That's going to be a longer down the line, and that's the term in terms of like, you know, if I have a model I've created myself in a third-party platform like Maya or Blender, I want to be able to import that into the world. There's a large amount of, I would say, work that needs to be done for that to be achievable. Not least because we're building on Unreal Engine 5, and there's new tech that's come out, which means that there are new challenges. Nanite is one that I've mentioned quite a lot. Nanite is, for those that don't know, is an extremely powerful piece of new tech that's come out with Unreal Engine 5, which essentially will, how to say it, it will phase out, if you like, if you want for a better of a term, any kind of polygons which are not in the line of sight of a user. So if you think of like a house, anything that you can see in the front, it'll be rendered in real time in the game engine, and anything at the back, albeit it is modeled and there, will essentially be ignored by the real time rendering. This is really powerful because in Unreal Engine 4 and any other engine that prior to it, it would render everything in that scene, and it couldn't be intuitively phasing out anything that is not in the line of sight of the viewer. However, it also means that essentially developers who are looking to deploy content will need to be building assets outside of the builder tool in a particular manner so that the nanite tech can be used, just as an example. So that will be a little bit longer before we can actually provide really robust kind of either an SDK or even technical documentation as a fill gap. What I would generally advise is for those users that are really keen on getting ahead of the ball in terms of content creation, what I would encourage you to do is to follow standard game development kind of ruling in terms of content creation for assets. And that, what I mean by that is, think about trying to minimize the amount of kind of polys used wherever possible, and to be putting the detail into the textures is fairly standard. And also to familiarize yourself with nanite as far as possible and how that works, because those two things in particular will be quite key for the deployment of content, of bespoke content. One of the things we're looking to do to try and bridge that gap for users is to get a full-time member of staff that's effectively like another technical director, like the person we already have for the content creation via Foundation, who will be able to curate that content and work with brands, businesses, and users with regards to the requirements for the content that they're creating. I hope that answers the question, Water, but it's a very big question.
Yes, it is. But that last notes you have to get ahead of the game, to just learn actually how game building contents, the general concept works. This definitely makes me want to invite you for another session. Just show us how you build in other games. Not many of us in this Polkastarter community may had this experience before, so super looking forward if later we can have an educational series of calls on that.
Yeah, I think never mind calls. One of the things I'd love to do is to actually have some educational sessions inside the Cryptoverse, where our technical director can actually teach people on the kind of the good practices for content creation, specifically for Cryptoverse. So what better place to learn about how to create content for Cryptoverse than inside it itself? So that's something that I'm definitely excited and think about doing, moving into sort of Q1 of next year.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so many other questions. I just have to how create value with our lands. Well, so much about value creation as well, but also that is metaverse kind of a promise of it, right? You able to create this new virtual world and should able to create some value, especially for landholders. That is important. Which zone you foresee that will be value, in terms of, I don't know, business revenue with other kind of values. Can you share us a little bit on this, value creation of Cryptoverse land?
Yeah, I think the common denominator for value increase in terms of virtual worlds is typically in line with the progress of the development of the foundation or the DAO. meaning that the more tools that become available, the more populated that the world becomes, the more users that there are, the more demand there is for the land. So in many cases, if you look at, say, the value accrual of Decentraland and Sandbox, that's been in line with the development. So, of course, the first and foremost, obviously, it's important that our foundation team here continue to get their heads down and do good work in terms of the infrastructure and the tooling that's available. And by and large, that should also create demand for the land. But of course, there's nothing more valuable than the content that is often placed on the land itself. So the creation of your own content, if you have a business model in mind and the opportunities to monetize it are kind of infinite. So those are the kind of the ways in which would be most beneficial for the adoption of the platform. But of course, there's always elements of speculation in the market too. If you look at even just the parallels to the real world, when the first kind of people that move into an area, the land or the house prices are typically lower. But as the infrastructure around that area begins to build up, like a school and a post office and places to eat, restaurants, bars, whatever it may be, typically the land prices or the house prices increase in value with it because of the infrastructure around it. And in a virtual world, it's not too dissimilar, would be the expectation, and that is generally what we've seen with say Decentraland as a strong example as well. So those are kind of the things that spring to mind, I would say. Hopefully that's clear.
Yeah. So much to learn about the whole metaverse and we talked with our team recently, the new member had this experience with Decentraland, and actually there's so much mirror or share the common ground here is basically the metaverse is a virtual world actually provide you the platform and the tools. And the value creation, actually, the users generated value are the most sustainable and long term here. That is what I get from her, and I see that you guys are working on this the foundations for us. And yeah, correct me if that's not the case, but.
No, absolutely. You've touched upon, summarized really nicely what I've kind of said there, and I think that one important point to make is as well is that the users are just as the users are probably even more so responsible than asking that question of the team, because the world is only going to be as valuable as the users are to the world, from a world building perspective and a governance point of view. So at the same time, I think that for everybody that's a founding member of Cryptoverse, and by founding member I mean you one of the original landowners, I would be encouraging you all to kind of basically learn and research about decentralized worlds, and the open metaverse as a kind of parallel, and the role and responsibility of the users and the world goers, people who are part of that world, in terms of creating that value or being a massive part of where that value is created. Because the team can build amazing tools and amazing tech as I believe that we are, but the users themselves are often where the kind of true value comes in behind the community and the world building and governance that occurs beyond that.
Awesome. One question brought up by several users. Danny was joking. Would that be a wall? Can I evade other land? Another similar question on this is, what morality system will be used in the game? So what I understand is there some moral code? How are you going to deal with that?
Two really awesome questions. First and foremost, the current consideration, and I just to preface, look, these decisions are placeholders, and what I mean by that is, again, world building is got to come from governance. It's going to be so important in what we do, but as placeholder right now, the thought process is that there'd be an option for a user to essentially mark their land as publicly accessible or private. In the case of private, then essentially there would be an invisible force field that would stop anybody accessing that doesn't have either a list of approval list from the owner of the land, i.e. the registered wallet owner, or just the user themselves, who is the registered landowner as per their wallet. If they mark it public, then obviously anybody will be able to come on and access it. So that's the current world building placeholder decision for with regards to the question about people coming on the world and trespassing. Of course, some logical things would be like, build a big wall. As long as they've got colliders, you stop an avatar getting in. But the intention for the world is to obviously have like flying vehicles. So theoretically, they would still technically be able to get inside via flight if there isn't some sort of programmable barrier to entry there. Hopefully that answers that question, Walter. And the second one was also a good one, but I've forgotten. Can you remind me?
About the karmic morality. I think it ties into, I guess, the Phana system.
Exactly. Yeah. That ties in perfectly. Yeah, exactly. So currently the consideration for kind of for like a karmic reputational system is prana. It is in the light paper because it's a really interesting question with a decentralized world is like, how do you promote good behavior and how do you, in inverted commas, punish undesirable behaviors? So, and even defining, the ethicality of defining what's a desirable versus an undesirable behavior. I think the vast majority of the world, if not all of the world, in principle, would agree that racism, for example, would be an undesirable behavior. So how would that be punished in a decentralized world? Versus being helpful generally in chat to a community member, how would that sort of behavior be rewarded? So the Phana system is the current with the current method that's been suggested and is going to be pursued for the time being. And Phana will reward desirable behaviors, and it will also be like kind of strangle access for users based on undesirable behaviors. So if I walk around with a t-shirt on which might have an explicit image, might have some sort of explicit language, if there is kind of negative feedback on that user given, it could be that the punishment would scale from just basically phasing out a particular t-shirt so that it's blurred out, all the way to even blacklisting that user so that they can't communicate for a period of time or whatever it would be. Hard banning is difficult to do. You can blacklist obviously wallets, but you can't necessarily completely stop somebody reaccessing through a new wallet. So there's going to be interesting challenges. I think everybody doesn't want the world to be full of trolls, but at the same time, you have to be very careful in running the world like an authoritarian rule, because that will simultaneously do damage in essentially what should be a virtual utopian world. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, totally. It's great to understand this. Like, you already have this discussion on the table, like circulating around your team, and always I think it's also a little bit like test and error, but finding consensus in a decentralized world. We all like trying to tackle that is new to us as human in the society, right? Okay. A lot kind of like 10 minutes like to the end. I know you guys willing to stay with us, so we also lovely happy to have you, but let's try to make it precise and on time. There are many questions actually regarding to your future, like Cryptoverse future, like your partnership, and like if there will be some brand already, we'll see like they are happening in the Cryptoverse land, if you can tell us. Also I see recently you reviewed your marketplace, and also you were in some events, right, in Los Angeles about like the LP and or some like concept proofing stage. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What are you planning like for the future, partnership wise and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. So from a partnership perspective, unfortunately, we often like have non-disclosure agreements until announcements. So legally can't really talk about too much. But what I can say is there is a lot of interest from brands, celebrities, and other. But rights owners is the other one that I'd say, those that own the rights to particular brands or whatever it would be. Mostly we've got NDAs about them. But there is a lot of interest. However, there's also a lot of hesitancy because for obvious reasons, crypto can get its bad press, as can NFTs. and also there's a kind of a lack of understanding around what the metaverse is currently, or what a metaverse is. So there's also processes of education. We have to speak with a lot of these types of people quite a long time, build rapport and trust. So it will take some time, but I can say for sure that there is definitely interest there, and we've already signed a few NDAs and got some kind of discussions already kind of rolling on that with that regards. The
Yes.
marketplace, I think would be awesome if Adam demoed, because I think it's amazing.
Yes, please.
Yeah, sure. Happy to do so. So basically, once you've minted your land, I don't know if we're releasing the marketplace exactly on the exact time of the land picker, but it's definitely the same day. So hopefully we'll have the marketplace ready to go. But yeah, we'll have a new marketplace tab, which you'll be able to filter by different districts. You'll be able to filter by different sizes, listed or unlisted. You can search by token IDs, and click into each of the items. You can get more of a breakdown about the land, the different sizes, whether or not they have points of interest. You can make offers on land. You can also buy lands directly. Currently, we're only going to be using CGG as a payment method. We are actually going to be adding the land items to secondary markets as well. But primarily, our marketplace, we're only going to be taking I think a 2.5% fee as well, so relatively small. We really want to kind of encourage people to try and use our marketplace if possible, because it kind of, it does help the Cryptoverse. It does help you guys as well. We've got a lot of plans for it as well, being able to add different types of assets, whether it's vehicles, buildings, that kind of thing. So it's really going to be a great kind of integrated solution where you can mint your land, you can come on and directly start trading on the marketplace,
Sorry, Adam, quick question. I know, like, on your websites, like, there was like LAND Sharding and combining tool, like to land the land in the future, right? Allow the owners to land rents and land. Would that also possible in this marketplace? Is that ready here already? Yeah.
Is that, sorry, I missed that part. Is that about land sharding? Or?
Yeah, land sharding. Is it like related with to the landing and renting of land?
Not at this point, no.
Okay.
But I think the land sharding feature will be added at some point this year, Robbie, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really aware.
Yeah.
Of that.
So on the land sharding and combining, the actual tool that we've created can already do that. We can already subdivide singles. In terms of the priority for release of it, it's not been put high on the list. The reason for that is because ultimately, it's not going to be the benefit that it's designed to create at the moment in time, in terms of the flexibility for users with what they want to do with the land. It's actually going to be more useful as the kind of I would say the world begins to get built out and populated, because until the content begins to be put into place anyway, it's kind of redundant as to whether or not a user can shard it any further. So it's something that we can do sooner rather than later, but just in terms of order of priority, it's not something that we've put high on the list. So I would imagine probably early next year when we'd probably revisit. But if it's something that is unanimously kind of requested or preferred on the user side, we can look to focus on that sooner. It would just mean it's probably going to delay something else or elsewhere on the roadmap. So that's the kind of the truth with regards to the sharding. But the tool, it already exists, it already works. It's just the blockchain side of things that we haven't developed yet.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, sorry, interrupting you, Adam. You were showing us how the listing on marketplace work. Something
Yeah,
you want to
so
touch
as
upon.
as you use it, you can list via your account page, so under the My Land page. So if you've got an NFT, you can list it directly there. You can enter the sale price in CGG, kind of calculates the USD amount, the fee.
The
and you can
currency
set
is CGG, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's the governance token that we use across our ecosystem. So you can list the item. You can make offers on items as well. You can cancel offers if they're not within the amount that you want to get for them. Yeah, we're going to be adding a lot of really good features to it. So the ability to transfer NFTs, different accounts, notifications, that kind of thing. So over the next few weeks, we're going to be really putting a lot of resource into getting it as optimum as possible. So yeah, we're really excited to kind of launch this, and hopefully everybody will really like it and appreciate how easy it is to do transactions and buy assets.
Yep. Thank you. Trading is definitely a very important part, like for metaverse and in like crypto in general. But like I'm thinking like now, like minting, after minting, we are waiting for the builders tool. And also some might not really want to build it, but still want to generate value. So hopefully your renting to the LAND Sharding and compiling are coming soon. But meanwhile, are there other ways you would suggest the users to use it if they don't want to list it and sell it and hodling it? Like, is there some incentive for them to hodl, keep your land?
Yeah, so there has been a few areas of discussion around this. Obviously, we kind of are looking at various ways to reward based on kind of longevity of ownership or holding, in terms of probably some of the earlier like asset packs that those that have only had Genesis land or held Genesis land would actually get as kind of NFTs, in terms of some of the more, I would say, upmarket assets. So it might be like a like add-on pack, asset pack add-ons onto what would be a basic, kind of building feature otherwise. So bonus kind of asset packs in that way. The other thing that we're also thinking about is the ability for users to stake land in order to start increasing their prana. And Prana again will be almost have its own separate area on the marketplace where users can bring Prana and they can actually spend it again for kind of maybe quite unique avatars or vehicle assets or building assets, and or even like titles. So like OG name. You'd be running around with that as above your name, as opposed to just your standard kind of username. So there's quite a few different ways that we're kind of ideating to incentivize. What I've basically said there are the current discussion topics, though nothing has been kind of, I would say, 100% set on. But these two things in particular that I've just talked about are the two most favorable ideas that have been suggested within the team at the moment.
Awesome. What are you showing us, Adam, here? Like the transaction record here.
Yeah, so I've just made an offer on this piece of land. The user can then log in and accept that offer. You can cancel the offer as well if you change your mind. And everything is all available through your account section as well. So you go into your account and then you go to My Land Offers, and you go to Offers Sent. You can see what you've actually made offers on. We don't offer the ability to bulk cancel at the moment, but we're going to be adding that in really soon. So we're really excited about the marketplace and what we've created. So yeah.
Okay, one quick question. I think it's a simple question, require a simple answer. Someone bought 2 single parcel land. Can they choose to mint an estate? Yeah. I don't think it works this way, but yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sure I understand that question, Walter. Can you repeat for me? Sorry.
Someone asked if they bought 2 single parcel NFT, can they mint an estate's land NFT instead of minting 2 single parcel, like trade them?
No, because the well, 2 reasons obviously. The single parcel purchase was a token which entitles you to redeem 1 single parcel land or 2 single parcel land, whereas the estates are obviously a number of lands all kind of comprised together to make one big estate. So just as Adam's kind of demonstrated on the screen there, the red that is currently clicking are the single parcels, whereas the entire thing would be the estate combined. So if you bought 2 single parcels, you wouldn't be able to mint an estate worth 30 parcels, for an example, because that wouldn't be fair to the users that had actually bought the 30 parcels. But the other kind of factor there is as well is that they are they're on different chains. So the singles are on Polygon, but the estates are on Ethereum.
Yeah, it's like totally different network as well.
If you were to buy, if you had like 15 singles and you were to buy the entire piece of the estate, in the future when we do allow LAND Sharding and compiling, you could actually theoretically convert that into an estate.
Yeah, good point.
But you need to mint the entire estate.
If you had like all of these except one that Adam's just clicked on, you still wouldn't be able, like, say you had all that, you still wouldn't be able to combine that into an estate. You would need it all.
Good. Like, simple answer and tips. That's all we want. Okay. I have to wrap up the call here. Otherwise, we'll stay here for 3 hours. Like, there's so much like. Yeah, I won't say a promising land, but it's something like when it's virtual and so much like inspiration and ideas flowing around. Just can't wait to like just see it.
Can I share a couple of things really quickly? Let me just.
You want to share a screen?
My screen?
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone who wants to see Robbie's screen, go to Robin's profile, click watch stream button. Let us know if you cannot see it. And the whole process will be recorded and posted on our YouTube. Good. So I am trying to... Hold on a sec. I click your profile, but maybe I use a pop-up window. Hold on a sec. Yes. Got it. Yeah.
You can see?
Ready.
Yeah, so this is one of the main buildings in the central business district area. This has been put into the Unreal Engine. So this is currently in Unreal Engine. Obviously, it's a screen grab from Unreal Engine. We have like a number of buildings now kind of finished, if you like. But this is just one of the main ones. This, believe it or not, is actually... I would say double the size of the biggest building in the world, so it's absolutely massive. And it was created by the team that we work with, which have essentially built out parts of the real world, including like Dubai and New York and stuff. So they've been producing these really exciting, fluid kind of building designs. These pieces are designed to kind of like lift off and are able to essentially change shape. This is what we call 4-dimensional, because you can manipulate physics, space and time and so on, to kind of become like functional areas or other different types of styles. And it could like float in the air, for example, because again, we're not confined by gravity. So this is all really exciting. This is kind of another angle of a few of the different kind of the same building. This is a bike, I think, one of the bikes that's kind of going to be released as well. This is Bitsy. She's one of the avatars that we've been working hard on. She needs a little bit of work on optimization still, but you can see that she's got that kind of really cool anime style vibe to her as well. This here is one of the other buildings that we also kind of this is like a live kind of shot, unrendered, so just dropped in without it being kind of rendered, so it doesn't look as high quality, but you can again see some of the buildings that we've been working on, for example, which is quite cool. What else did I have to show? Oh yeah, this is the same bike that we kind of pop in the engine, rendered out and span around. What else did we have? I think we had another bike that I can show quickly as well. This is one of the other bikes. I think some people might have seen. Again, that's in engine and rendered out. So yeah, just thought I'd show a few cool things for the community as well.
I hope like you can just like do a whole day, like just do us a grand tour there. But yeah, there will be more of this like this coming. Polkastarter is like more than happy to provide you the platform whenever you feel ready to share with the community. But also community, you can just voice out and let us know you want to get some updates with the team. They are all docs. Yeah, you can go on the sites, like you see what they're working on, what they're like they're basically their names and their background, and you are always welcome to just go to their Discord, and their moderators and their team basically are always there. That I do agree. And thank you so much today, Adam, Robbie. This is amazing AMA. So people would ask later, like, who is the best asked question? Like that is like the criteria to give away the single parcel land. Which question in your mind like totally pops up? Like not Daniel, please. Not Daniel. No also.
I'll let you pick one, mate.
I like the question about the karma and the potential option for war.
Okay. Well, then if not Daniel, that will be I remember the user asking about the morality system of it. I think that will be the winner. Yes, that's it. That is the decision making in the Discord world. Good. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. I will definitely let you know when the YouTube is up. Have a good weekend, Robbie and Adam.
Thank you so much for hosting, Walter. Thank you, everyone in the Polkastarter community. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Ciao. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Gonna close the call.